Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all having a great day and that you are all doing well. To start things off, a Bitcoin ETF is a matter of when, not if. For SEC Commissioner, his name is Robert J. Jackson Jr. The commissioner's Ione Democrat, I don't know, okay, expects a Bitcoin ETF filing to eventually satisfy all of the required standards set forth by the body. Speaking during a soon-to-be-published interview with Congressional Quarterly, Jackson stated his belief that an SEC-approved Bitcoin ETF is inevitable. So far, the commission has rejected all prior filings submitted by different funds looking to launch a Bitcoin ETF. I assume that is this guy right here. Yep, says his name. In the excerpts from the interview shared by adjunct professor at NYU Stern, Drew Hinks, Jackson explained, and I do quote, "Eventually, do I think someone will satisfy the standards that we've laid out there? I hope so, yes, and I think so. Getting the stamp of approval from the deepest and most liquid capital markets in the world is hard, and it should be. Once we make it available to everyday mom and pop investors, we are taking risks that Americans can get hurt," end quote. Jackson's comments are in many ways indicative of the argument consistently put forward by the commissions against Bitcoin ETFs. The SEC has in the past brought up issues related to liquidity, custody, and market manipulation. Emphasizing these points, the SEC commissioner touched on the Winklevoss's Bitcoin ETF rejected in July of 2018. According to Jackson, the decision to deny the application stemmed from the inability of the trust to satisfy the SEC standards of preventing fraud and market manipulation. The point of all of this is so everyone has been trying to figure out the catalyst as to why exactly the market shot up completely yesterday. We know Litecoin's part in all of this. So Litecoin has to do apparently with the Mimblewimble, but Bitcoin randomly out of nowhere shot up, I think around 11%. I think it then sank down to around 7-8%, somewhere around there. And it appears it's because this was apparently like a leaked conversation. This apparently wasn't something that was supposed to have gotten out. Not exactly sure how it got out, but apparently the SEC commissioner, one of the people who's rejected all of the other Bitcoin ETFs before, announcing that he is under the idea that a Bitcoin ETF is inevitable, appears to be the reason why the market ended up shooting up. Do I think we are going to get a Bitcoin ETF eventually? Yes. There are multiple other countries who have launched similar things to ETFs or ETNs in their own country. I think it would be foolish if the US didn't eventually do this. Do I think an ETF is important? Me personally, no, but apparently 90-something% of the cryptocurrency space believes that in order for Bitcoin to actually move up, that we need an ETF. Even I'm glad that other prominent members of the cryptocurrency space have actually finally come forward, and they all announced we don't need an ETF. It's not something that is going to be hyper significant, but every single time that we get some good and or bad news about a Bitcoin ETF, the prices of the market tend to react accordingly. So if this guy could announce at least once a week that we're going to get a Bitcoin ETF, we might have all-time highs by the summer. That was a joke. Anyway, the point is we're going to get it eventually. I think no. Remember I said before, even 2018, I said I didn't think we were going to get the CBOE one, the one that they just retracted a couple of weeks ago, and then they refiled all over again, and now we have until November of this year to see if we're actually going to get it. I have a feeling they're playing hardball. We even had the other head of the SEC, one of the 4 people who makes the rulings and stuff like that. Can't remember her name. Hester Pierce? Maybe that's it. Announced that she thinks that we should get one and are eventually going to get one. It's going to be a very monumental moment whenever we do end up getting one of these. But I mean, I don't understand still why the rhetoric has completely gone from anyone who uses or touches Bitcoin or any type of integration that we get, the price would go up, to what we have now, in that we need a Bitcoin ETF and for the market to move at all. If you think about all the amazing good news that we've had even this year and also the second half of last year, Bitcoin should be a lot higher. But I mean, hopefully this momentum continues as far as prices moving up, because I don't understand why people would think that we wouldn't ever get a Bitcoin ETF, like why it took an SEC commissioner to announce that, yeah, we'll probably get one at some point. That should have logically, like, it's like if it rains for like 15 days, people don't start panicking thinking that the sun is never going to come back. At some point, we will have a Bitcoin ETF, but it shouldn't dominate the market. Like, the market should be moving off of the, I don't know, maybe like the good news that we've been getting for the last like 18 and a half weeks. That would also seem logical. Anyway, thank you, SEC Commissioner, for showering us with your news that apparently was leaked that we shouldn't even know about. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, Binance is in the news. There we go. Binance Coin may be moving closer to a migration from the Ethereum network, with CEO Changpeng Zhao suggesting that the testnet launch is coming soon. He talked about the plans to spin off a decentralized exchange, or a DEX, in a recent question and answers, or Q&A. Zhao stated that the DEX would be coming within a couple of weeks, coinciding with the testnet launch. However, the new platform will also have some limitations, including a listing fee. He said there will be a listing fee on the DEX. I actually deliberately want to set this a little bit high, just so we reduce the number of spam projects. And there's also a voting process by the validators to be listed on the DEX. So there's a fee. I think the fee will probably be close to $100,000 US, so we'll see. But the fee is adjustable over time. It's quite easy to change. Touching on this very quick before we even move on. I think, I don't remember exactly what it is on Binance anymore as far as their listing fee, but Changpeng Zhao said before in the past that I think they're going to be like donating the actual listing fees on the I think Binance platform. So I assume that they'll be doing this as well, especially when he said that there will be an initial listing fee, because realistically, I've seen it happening, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you have also been caught up in this as well. This really weird situation happening right now, where as we get closer, even as we got closer to February and as we get closer to March, I'm seeing the scams slowly pop back up in my comment section, and I'm seeing them popping up all over the place. So I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are trying to, having your coin listed on Binance anything is an automatic moonshot for your coin. Maybe not a good like 4,000%, but you still go up a lot. So I assume a lot of scam projects, 4,000% increase. If you put the right amount of money into that, you can become rich within about a day and a half. So at least be able to, willing to put up the 100K if your project is actually real. Binance Chain, the upcoming blockchain intended to carry the decentralized exchange, will be using delegated proof of stake, or DPoS. It is a system similar to EOS or Tron, where block producers are elected to secure the network. Initially, Binance will grant nodes to its close partners to achieve speed and security, but will later invite third parties to join. This is kind of exactly what is happening with EOS and Tron, like I just said. This is slightly, how do I say this? Before in the past, and this is one project that I'm actually holding my breath on. Before in the past, whenever we had decentralized exchanges, they were crap. A lot of them have not been good. A lot of them have been hacked. So I assume what they're doing with this one is that they're trying to, I don't know exactly how many partners are going to be actually doing the delegated proof of stake on the chain to kind of like secure it and make sure that it's okay. What have you, security. I hope it's at least around the same exact number as EOS. It may be 24, 25, 26, 27, somewhere around that number. Anyway, I'm very excited for this. I have been excited for this for quite some time. I wonder exactly how the migration of Binance Coin from Ethereum is going to not work, but how Ethereum will fare in this kind of thing, if that makes a little bit of sense. This is probably going to be one of the largest exchanges that we have launching this year. There's nothing, at least in the works, that I know about, and we've had a couple of other things that have launched and people haven't really cared about them. Binance is extremely large. They actually care about listing coins that people want to be listed. They care about having major pathways for people to be able to get in and out of the market, and the fact that they have announced that before, like a couple months ago, that they were making their own decentralized exchange, and now that it's actually happening within a couple of weeks, Coinbase is just trash at this point. I don't know how to make it any nicer or sugarcoat a bit more. I'm expecting Binance during any bull run is probably going to become even more larger than they actually are right now. But I think that what they're setting themselves up for is just something glorious. I think that they will eventually, in 5-10 years time, they will be seen as like the Amazon of cryptocurrencies. Like they're going to be as large as that. Anyway, I'm excited for the decentralized exchange. I'm excited for it to actually work. I'm excited for anything that Binance kind of comes out with. And for those who don't know, apparently what we heard a couple of weeks ago is that the Binance coin is apparently going to be like the base pair on the decentralized exchange. So all coins have to pass through the Binance coin. It's just going to be, I mean, I don't know how much more bullish. Like when you talk about an actual use case, this is where I stay very bullish on Binance. And I guess to a even extent the Binance coin, the fact that they have made sure that their coin is actually going to be used. It's not just something, you know, on a platform that kind of sits there and you can kind of swap into it if you want. Incredibly intelligent. I hope this ends up going well. We will find out by summertime exactly how many people are using this. I'm going to give it a shot. I like Binance a lot, and I think they're going to do incredible things as we continue the year. Let's move on. Next up, Bithumb is in the news. South Korean headquartered cryptocurrency exchange known as Bithumb has launched a global over-the-counter OTC trading desk for digital assets. Announcing the news on Thursday, the firm said that the new new Hong Kong-based venture known as Outage, why not, is a block deal matchmaking service for institutional clients. In an over-the-counter deal, two parties trade directly with each other. Unlike on an exchange where orders are matched between buyers and sellers, Outage will operate to allow institutions to buy and sell digital assets through a network of global liquidity providers and benefits from a competitive and best price execution service. According to the website, Outage has offices in the UK, Hong Kong, Japan, Australia, and Argentina. To get started, clients will have to go through a strict onboarding process, including know your customer and anti-money laundering documentation. I mean, that's kind of how everything else works. The point is that this is yet another thing that's launching around the same exact time frame because for some reason, everyone is still gunning for that February-March time frame. And I think the only reason why we're getting it's all lining up. I think that everyone still just saying is expecting the market to move up in March. But I think if you announce that you're launching something earlier than everybody else, this kind of gets people interested in your platform before we could potentially have a market move going somewhere up. This is why we are getting all of this good news. You may have noticed I can't remember, except for maybe like 4 cryptocurrency exchanges that people weren't really using, getting hacked or losing their money or losing their private keys, or other cryptocurrency projects kind of losing funding or mismanagement of funds, or someone leaving the project. There hasn't been any like bad or negative news on any coin. None, like at least within the top 30 that I can think of off the top of my head. Nothing for Bitcoin, nothing for Ethereum. You know, we know that they're going to get their they're scaling together. Nothing negative for XRP. What else is there? Nothing for Tron, nothing for Cardano. So everything has kind of been very good news. That was not to give anybody hope or hype. I'm just trying to keep everything into perspective as to letting everyone know why everything is launching around this time frame, because we are only a couple weeks away from March. Just going to throw that out there. Next up, I don't really know how to pronounce this. Don't judge me for this at all. I want to say it's Meridius. It sounds cooler like Meridius. Anyway, Meridius will soon license digital asset custodians as part of its plan to create a financial hub in and for Africa. In an announcement on Friday, the Island Nations Financial Services Commission, or the FSC, said that after publishing draft rules in a consultation paper in November 2018, the framework has now been finalized and will come into effect on the 1st of March I wonder why they chose March. That's so weird. And in fact, the framework sets out rules for a license that allows the holder to provide custody services for digital assets. The move makes the Meridius the first jurisdiction globally to offer a regulated landscape for the custody of digital assets, according to the FSC. Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, Prime Minister of the Republic of Mauritius, said, and I do quote, "In revolutionizing the global fintech ecosystem through this regulatory framework for the custody of digital assets, my government reiterates its commitment to accelerating the country's move to an age of digitally enabled economic growth," end quote. The point is, another nation, if you will, that has given cryptocurrency rules to a certain extent. They have announced that they are going to be friendly to anything in the cryptocurrency space, as they now have a framework. The framework is also launching on the 1st of March. Once again, date not random. Everyone thinks, and this is where it gets really annoying, because everyone's pointing to March, and if nothing happens in March or even by the 1st of April, I'm going to be a little upset. I'm sure everybody else will as well, but hopefully, because we have so many good things that are supposed to be launching during this month, the end of this month, the beginning of next month, hopefully everything will work out. But it's still nice to hear that there are other countries who are understanding, especially countries, I want to say that maybe smaller, I guess I can kind of phrase it that way, who understand that there's a lot of money to be made, and if they open their doors quickly enough, they will be able to profit greatly from the people and companies looking to have nice crypto people friendly countries. That sentence made no sense, but you know exactly what I was trying to say. All of you knew exactly what I was trying to say, even though I didn't say it correctly. Let's move on. Blockstream is in the news. In order to finally achieve mainstream adoption, Bitcoin needs to evolve. However, when the question is how to evolve, things get trickier, as there are several kinds. Whoa, hold on one second. It just started raining here and my window flew open. Hold on one second. Don't even judge me. Still here. Don't leave. Hold on. Well, that was dramatic. So where was I? Like, actually, the window completely flew open. It's really weird. It was like a storm or something like that here. Oh my gosh. So I didn't even close the window properly. Anyway, Blockstream is now focusing on a very interesting issue to solve: to make Bitcoin work without the internet. While most of the projects are focused either on making Bitcoin scalable or in turning the technology into something considerably more user-friendly, this one is actually a very revolutionary idea that could change the way people use Bitcoin in the future. Blockstream has been focused on creating a network of satellites that will work around the globe 24/7. The idea is to create a network that will run independently from the internet. That's insane. And let users access their data, as well as be able to send and receive transactions from anyone on the Bitcoin network. If this idea actually bears fruit, it could be one of the pillars for the global adoption of the asset. Everyone knows that Bitcoin is very useful for regions which are in economic turmoil. Venezuela is currently a great example of that. This is going to happen. Not even really an if at this point. We are going to at some point see a situation where, isn't that kind of, maybe it's just me, interesting to think about? Wow, the wind is ridiculous. Isn't that kind of ridiculous? Oh my gosh. You done? No? Okay. The point is, Blockstream is doing something that I thought we would probably never see. Having Bitcoin without the internet is going to completely change the way. Remember I was talking about before, Venezuela aside, just a whole bunch of other countries, because the current estimate is right now is that we have around 8 billion people on this planet. Around 4 or 5 billion are adults and or aged, over the age of 18, I can kind of say. And around 2.5 some billion people in the world do not have access to the internet. That is insane to think about. So the fact that we would have a situation where people around the world are able to transact in Bitcoin and therefore use money without having to use the internet is absolutely insane. I assume we will have more news on this as time ends up going forward. But yeah, sorry, I'm like, actually, this is like a whole dramatic experience. I'm like, it started raining. The wind got really strong, blew open the window. I can't even like properly close it. I think something's like stuck inside of it. I don't know why I'm telling you all of this. It's just difficult to close it. So my arm is actually, if you can imagine this, I have the computer in front of me with the microphone, and one of my arms stretched out holding the window because I cannot close it. So that's kind of the nicest way of saying that. Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Next up, Bitfenix, or I guess rather you can kind of even, it's going to be the breeze over part of the video. Hong Kong-based cryptocurrency exchange known as Bitfenix notified users in a tweet on Saturday that it had temporarily gone offline for all users as crypto markets saw major gains. Initially, the company wrote that the platform was unavailable only to some users and apologized for the inconvenience without specifying a cause for the outage. However, about 30 minutes later, Bitfenix clarified that it had gone offline for all its users, citing a poor choice of wording as the reasons for the misinformation. The full statement reads, "We apologize for our previous tweet. In the rush to make users aware of our issue promptly, we were poor in the choice of wording. We can confirm Bitfenix is offline for all users. Please be assured that funds are safe. We will communicate here with further updates." Not sure if this is still something that is going on, just a way for me to kind of say they had an outage. Your money's safe, because they say that your money's safe. Hopefully your money's safe. And the point is, if they had and I don't know the exact reasoning for this, if they had an outage because of people going to their platform and using it, that might not be good, because we saw this before in 2017 where a lot of cryptocurrency platforms, places crashed because people were trying to use them. And this is why I say maybe, hopefully this isn't it. Over the course of 2018, people should have adequately been updating their cryptocurrency exchanges to be able to handle any type of surge, especially like when we're not even in a bull run. So hopefully they get that under control. To kind of finish things off, the markets are still okay. Nothing's going crazy. Everything's still kind of going sideways. We're still up a little tiny bit. I'm hoping that we can make it until Monday to kind of get back into the groove of things. We might slip back down at some point. I once again see nothing bearish at all in the cryptocurrency space, so there's no reason why prices should even be thinking of moving any lower. Anyway, for the sake of my arm, I think that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Vlad the Impaler, Gil Boa Snake, Rai, Brady Nields, L. Doug, Arthur Yaku, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Nick Mangialavori, Travis Haynes, Gordon Nikic, and Yasha Harari. Thank you all very much for your generosity. My arm is killing me, and yeah, I will talk to you all soon. See you.